Hello, people. I didn't expect to be here to do an editorial type thing. This morning, James is doing a job interviews, but I had to get this out there because Sammy Gravano went on Fox News last night with Jesse Waters, and I am a Jesse Waters fan. I've always been, and I like him. I remember when Jesse Waters used to go around to speak to people in parking lots and stuff. Like he would go to their jobs, and when they would come out, he would confront them. And I remember when Jesse Waters would get attacked for confronting them or would get harassed, threatened. So we're going to talk about that. But we're talking, so this is kind of me reaching out to Jesse Waters. The odds of him listening to me or hearing me, we know that's not going to happen. But on the bottom, Waters encourages viewers to call and text him if you have an issue of a show that he's done or if you have something to tell him. So there it is. So if you want to reach out to him and tell him what a great job he's doing, it's right there for you. Email and the number. And let's move on now. So Sammy Gravano was on, and I'm going to play something that Sammy said, and then we're going to break it down a little bit. And here we go.
Let's get out, speak, talk against it, do something. Don't sit back. And that's not just them and any one individual. I'm talking about the whole country. If we allow this, our forefathers died for this country. I'm a veteran, I go to the VA hospital, and I see people walking around without a leg, without an arm. They fought for us, they died for us, they lost parts of their body for us.
You hear that? They lost parts of their bodies for us. Sammy Gravano, you were involved with 3 murders where the men's bodies were never found again. And this is after you've seen them get shot in the head. And these guys were your friends. One of them was Louis Melito. And what did you and Louis Melito have in common? You and Louis Melito killed a boy named Alan Kaiser. This is Alan Kaiser right here. And I'm bringing this up because it's important that I bring up Alan Kaiser for one simple reason. Nobody else does in these news agencies. They won't look. It's so easy to find this out about Sammy Gravano. Here's what the FBI did. As part of his plea agreement, Sammy told them about Alan Kaiser. No one ever knew about who murdered Alan Kaiser. And here we are, over a decade later, he comes out and doing his 302s, he confesses about Alan Kaiser. They go to the apartment of Alan Kaiser's parents and the family. And the family has no idea. They have no idea who ever murdered their son. And so when they get there, they go in and they speak to the mother and father. They go, "We know what happened to Alan Kaiser. We know who shot him and who killed him." And it was Sammy Gravano and Louis Melito. And that's because he was a witness to a crime. He was a 16-year-old boy walking home. That's who Alan Kaiser was. And Sammy got away with that murder. Jesse Waters says that Sammy paid his price. No, he did 5 years for being involved in 19 murders. 5 years, probably less, and it was in Witsack at that. So no, he did his time when he became a major drug dealer. But let's play this. Fox News wants to use Sammy to talk about drugs and everything. And, Sammy's anti-drug. He's always been anti-drug. He used to drive around on the side of his car. He said, "Just say no." Remember that campaign, "Just Say No"? That was when you were in the street, Sammy. And then again, when you went to Arizona, how did Sammy Gravano become a better human being once he got a second chance in life? He went and dealt drugs with his family. That's what he did. And his wife and daughter were involved. He threatened to kill the son's girlfriend, because the girlfriend didn't like him. He literally wanted to take a contract out on her. He was going to hurt his wife because $40,000 disappeared, and it actually didn't disappear. And that was one of the reasons he got caught, because he was caught on the wire talking about the money. And then on top of that, his son wound up going to prison for 8 to 9 years for drug trafficking. So this is the man that was in Arizona And you know, and he winds up getting 17. He winds up doing 17 years once they busted him in Arizona. But he was a major drug dealer, and he's on here. He's talking about drugs coming across the border and everything. If Sammy was a criminal still, he would be involved in that because that's where he would make his money. He had no remorse for dealing ecstasy and having the biggest ecstasy ring at that time in the state of Arizona, which was expanding to Texas. So, Jesse Waters, let's listen to Sammy Gravano tell us about how bad the drug trade is.
How do you think these people feel when they go home and look in the mirror? Everything they gave for us, and we're sitting back and doing absolutely nothing. I don't care how much power they got on their side. We have the people. The people are the power. If we don't talk, if we don't say something, then we're part of it. We become complicit with what's going on. So that's how I feel about it. And I feel very strongly about it. Now that I changed my life, I fight for a lot of things. The open borders, people pouring in, they're invading our.
Now that he changed his life, he fights for a lot of things. Okay, first of all, I went out and met Sammy Gravano, and I confronted him about Alan Kaiser. A lot of people disagree with what I did. Okay, that's fine. But Jesse Waters, you used to do stuff like this for years. And here was his reaction when I was filming him. Here's what his son did. I want you to see this.
Yeah, Lee, call. I got family here. I just wanted to say hi to you. I wanted to ask you about Alan Kaiser. How come you never talk about Alan Kaiser? Well, I think that it'd be better if you did talk about Alan Kaiser, Sammy.
Oh, just so you know, this is a lie. He never spoke to the family, and you can reach out to the daughter Joy, Alan's sister, and she would tell you. Sammy right here says, "I talked to the family and apologized for what happened." He never talked to the family, and he gave a half-ass apology on his show. A matter of fact, he said the kid attacked him and was a drug addict. In all reality, the kid was going home and was murdered for witnessing him trying to kill somebody else with Louis Melito. And that's fact. I mean, that's in the 302.
Apologize for what was said. Didn't happen.
Now watch this. This is Jesse Waters. Make sure you watch this. This is when, just like you, I'm asking a question. I'm talking to Sammy Gravano. There's no confrontation. The confrontation comes when Gerard, his son, sees that I'm filming it. You showed up in how many parking lots with a camera, Mr. Waters? And here's what happened when his son knew that I was taping his money machine. Sammy makes him money, and nobody tapes Sammy without him given the permission.
Because I can? Yes, I can record. Thank you.
Okay, so that right there is he reached in the car, punched me in the temple. It doesn't hit very hard, by the way. Damaged my cell phone, broke my glasses because I was in the parking lot of where his father works. Now, this was not his home property. This was where his father works. And I was in a parking lot that was not anything they owned. They had no right to come into my vehicle. People might say, oh, you deserve to get hit. Okay, I deserve to get hit. But the fact is that this is what he did. So I like to ask Jesse Waters, what would you have done if you were asking a question in the parking lot and someone punched you in the temple? You would have had it on the show. You would have had it on the show. You would have been talking about it. You probably would have pressed charges. I did not. And this was not the man's home. This was a business, And how many times I've seen Jesse Waters pull up to people's homes and confront people. But that's not what happened here. Okay, so let's take this down. Okay, so I'm going to show a couple other things. I'm going to play some more of this, and you guys can hear this.
Country by the millions, not tens of thousands, millions, and we do nothing.
Well, I never thought I'd hear an inspiring patriotic speech from Sammy the Bull tonight on primetime, but I think you're saying things that a lot of people agree with, and you've paid the price, served your time.
You hear that? Okay, we have no problem with what Sammy's saying because a lot of people in this country feel that way. But he said you paid the price and you served your time. So, Mr. Waters, tell that to Alan Kaiser. Tell that to Alan Kaiser's family. Tell that to the families of the people that he murdered or were involved in their murders or set them up to be murdered. So there's a forgiveness level here. Fox preaches conservatives, tough on crime. But they bring these people in, like Sammy Gravano and Michael Francis, without researching them to see what they did in their life. This is where we are as a society in general. But you would figure that someone would protect Jesse Waters and let Jesse Waters know exactly who he has. People who he has coming on. People think, oh, wow, look who's coming on. An ex-gangster. Okay. Money laundering, drug dealing, murder, disposal of bodies. That's Sammy Gravano. So he's forgiven for all that because he went to the feds and ratted people out because he did not want to do no time in prison. And the only reason that he did time in prison for the drugs is because he had no choice. Why don't you reach out to the state of Arizona and ask them about the drug dealing there? The state of Arizona and the drug task force that's in the city of Phoenix despise Sammy to this day. You know why? Because he left, and then when he got out of prison, he came back to the same area that he was dealing drugs. The same exact area. But I guess that you guys understand family values. Once again, Fox talking about family values. There's the family right there, all dealing drugs. Family values. Let's go on with this.
And I think what you're telling me is you're seeing things that mirror what you did and what you were involved with back in the day.
It's true, but we did things. I don't even want to compare. We're like choir boys compared to these people. We always had a thing about protecting the public. I mean, I talk about people, and I have friends in New York and family, and they turn around and they say, Sammy, it was so much better when the mafia was in control in New York, things that are going on. I see the lighting of the tree. These things to me are...
So I like to say to Jesse Walters, bring out Rudolph Giuliani and ask him how much better it was when Sammy Gravano was in charge. The prices that they used to charge for garbage pickup, the extortion that was done, all those things, everything was great. Yes, the neighborhoods were safer, but all neighborhoods across America have deteriorated. And it's not because the mob isn't controlling them no more. It's because that's what America's doing. It's going downhill because people like you, Jesse Waters, our Fox News, don't vet who you bring on. You bring on people who are, you bring on a drug dealing, murdering criminal to get out the words that you want to be out. How about, how about bringing on somebody that would really understand it? Sammy doesn't understand it. He was part of it. And he would still have his drug dealing going on to this day in Arizona if he did not get arrested, because he was making tens of thousands of dollars every day. Let's go on.
So important, not for religion, not for anything like that. It's so festive, and it brings love and respect. there used to be hundreds of thousands of people lighting the trees and looking at Macy's window and stuff like that. It brought love to your heart, no matter how bad of a person you are. Now I'm seeing riots. I'm seeing things that are going on. How do you have the fucking audacity to do this, come to this country and do this? And then you're getting away with it is mind-blowing.
Yeah, well, we do need to bring back love and respect. I'm not sure.
Sammy Gravano talking about love and respect. Imagine that. Let's go to the videotape, people. Okay, I'm going to play another video just so you understand. And I'm hoping that, you know, I will email this video to Jesse Waters. But I want people to see, especially if they watch this, some other stuff. Okay, this is Sammy Gravano talking about him and his son going after me on his show. Okay? So there's some lies in it, but that's what Sammy does. But we're going to play it anyway. Okay.
Fucking put my pressure on me. I think my son slapped the shit out of him. And he ran away crying.
Okay, do you hear that? I put pressure on him, so his son smacked the shit out of me. No, his son punched me once in the temple, and he hits like a girl. Me and him were calling each other the CS word back and forth. You could hear it in the audio. We cut some of that audio out so we wouldn't get demonetized. But this is a man that's on his show bragging about attacking another man and his son doing it. But let him talk about his son, his perfect little son.
My son is no joke. He don't want to fight people. He's a tough kid. He did time, did 7.5 years on the ecstasy case, got pinched a bunch of time. He's good on it.
Okay, listen to what he just said. He said that his son got pinched on the ecstasy case. He didn't get pinched. He got arrested because you dealt drugs with him, your son. And the rest of the family went in also, got in trouble or wound up in prison. Out of the 5 of you, 3 of you went to prison. 2 of you were lucky enough. Why they gave people probation instead of jail time for the size. Everybody was involved with it. I mean, there's so much evidence of the whole family money laundering, doing it through businesses, through a restaurant they owned, through a construction company they owned. Okay. Hopefully that internet would pick up a little bit quicker.
I call my kid, he's a man. Good-hearted man. But if you fuck with him, I mean, he did box in the ring. I mean, if you fuck with him, he could slap the shit out of him. He didn't even punch this fucking jerk off. He just slapped the shit out of him, slapped his phone out of his face. So, and I told him, leave them alone. Leave these people alone. Let them just chirp. But
you hear that? He said that he told him to leave these people alone. Actually, when his son attacked me in the car, he was telling his son to pull me out of the car. Okay? And there were no smacks. It was one punch, and he was reaching for the phone because I was taping what his father was saying. He was the one aggressive. Okay? And here's how tough his son is. I'm a 63-year-old man. His son's in his 40s. That's how tough he is. And he comes across my body. I pushed him out of the car. It wasn't that difficult. Okay. I never got out of my car. I never confronted them. What I did was 100% legal. What Gerard did was illegal. But did I call the cops? Of course not. Because I'm not going to do that. You take your beat and you move on. And it wasn't really a beating. It was a little punch in the temple. What do you fucking do? I had a headache for a couple hours.
Okay, let me give you a few more.
Okay, that's the end of that one. Okay, so now the next video I'm going to play one more video. We're going to share the screen, and we're going to teach Mr. Waters exactly who Alan Kaiser is, the young boy that he murdered. The 16-year-old kid whose life ended on a street in Brooklyn because Sammy Gravano didn't want witnesses. An innocent 16-year-old boy. I guess that Fox News or Jesse Waters or the people that do research for him or vet people have no issues with this.
Kaiser and Wise's murder still relevant 45 years later. Alan Kaiser was a 16-year-old teenager who was killed by Sammy Gravano and Louis Melito on August 5, 1977. Gravano was seeking revenge on a young man named Aldo Candido and ambushed him when he left the house. Unfortunately, Alan Kaiser was headed home from his girlfriend's house, and Gravano shot him in the head with a shotgun blast, execution style, while lying on the ground because Gravano saw Alan as a loose end who witnessed a crime. Alan was not involved with Aldo or Gravano. Gravano admitted to this murder in 1991 when he flipped. His stories changed through the years, and he's lied about that night by saying that Alan was a drug addict. He lied when he said he apologized to the family. The only other witness to this murder of an innocent child is Louis Melito, but he was also killed by Gravano in 1986. Melito was supposedly Gravano's best friend, but was killed so Gravano could take over his business. There is no closure for the victims because Gravano continues to glorify being a serial killer.
Okay. I hope that maybe jilts you up a little bit, Jesse. But like I said, it was a good choice of who you had on to defend America, defend crime, and defend drug dealers, or drug dealing, how bad it is for society. It was a good deal. Your vetting did a great job.
We would have to bring back the mob if we would just take care of things ourselves. But Sammy, it was great speaking to you. Merry Christmas. I mean, I know it's a little early to say that, but Merry Christmas. And thanks for joining us on Jesse Waters Prime Time.
Thank you so much. And it's my pleasure. And, I watched you years ago when you would interview people coming out of colleges and running around. You're a main person now.
Okay, I wanted you to hear that. Yes, he interviewed people coming out of places. Like I went to interview you and ask you some questions and got punched for it. Same thing. You got your Sammy lovers on here that don't know any better, but it's pretty much the same thing. And so, Mr. Waters, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to say to you about Sammy Gravano. You handle this any way you want, but I will make sure you get this video. And Fox gets this video. Okay. Sammy made this personal when his son attacked me. Sammy made this personal when he continues on his show to talk about attacking me. So, Sammy, I hope that this gets to you also. People, have a nice one. Oh, what the heck is that thing running underneath there, right there? Oh, that thing right there. Oh, that's what I love about Jesse Waters. He encourages that viewers call him, text him, and email him about what a great job he's doing on his show. So I think that people should let him know how great of a job he's doing and how nice it was that he had a man of Sammy Gravano's stature on his show. People take care. Enjoy this. Have a nice one.